Being a 7'4" 14-year-old is one thing, but having fundamental soundness is another. Like, it's just domination coming your way, served red hot. Stick to the end of the video and see my breakdown on these centerpiece monsters. What is good, everybody out there? Thanks again for checking into another episode of Court Thoughts, the channel where we basically talk basketball. In recent videos, I've made comments that could potentially be considered as controversial. And you know what? I might have some more today. I made a recent comment in the Joel Embiid reaction. If you haven't checked that out, please go ahead and give it a watch. It was basically to the point that I don't think that the big man is essentially as important as a role position as what they used to be. Because the game of basketball is evolving much more towards a European, more open style of play where everyone essentially has to have the capability to shoot. Everyone has to have the capability to be able to pass, have court vision, and be able to handle the ball. And that started to get me thinking, I know what the big man used to be. What is the youth big man position like now? And then I stumbled across this video. This video just looks wild, bro. It just looks wild. I'm not gonna hype it up too much. I'm gonna jump straight into it. But the title of the video is called Humans Are Getting Taller. World's Tallest Basketball Players. And I just had to go and check it out. I just want to check it out. Now, the video is from Courtside Films, one of my favorite channels. They produce a lot of really, really good content. So guys, please make sure you jump over there, give them a like and subscribe. But look, let's jump straight into it and let's check out the video. Let's do it. All right, guys, let's check out Courtside Films video. Let's do it. Bro. Dude, I seen this dude. Yeah, you need to jump like that. Is that Taco? Man, this guy's so big. The dude's so big. Yeah, with the baseball pass. With the baseball pass. Oof. Okay, I see him catching the ball with one hand. She's 7'4" at 14. Oh my God! That's a foul, bro. Slap the shit out of some little kid. She put up 42 points, 25 rebounds, and 6 blocks to win China Nationals. Yeah, of course, bro. Of course she did. Man, look how deflated those little kids look. Yeah, Taco 4, bro. My man, big. Yeah. Woo. Ooh, breaking the rim. Hey, you gotta stop and fix the staunching, bro. It's real hard to guard him. It's real hard to guard him. Woo. Man, you just see how he gets into that position and you're just stuffed. You can't really do much. You have to stop him beforehand. Just hold it up. Disrespectful. 7'5". Two cash. Yee. Playing for IMG. Big academy. Produced a lot of players. Well, a lot of players have played for them as well. Yay. Man. That's a bit tough because he loops his arm around like that too. Alright. This man here needs to work on a little bit more fundamentals because he's relying a lot on his core attributes. That's going to be a problem later on, but I'm going to break it down, don't worry. Yeah. You can definitely see why Tucker was able to get into the NBA because of the fact he's much more inclined with the way that he moves with the ball. Yee! Yeah. Oh, disrespectful, bro. I hate to break it to you, your hand's that big, you should be able to do it, bro. You should be able to do that, bro. Your hand's that big. How tall is he? 7'6"? You should be able to. Courtside Films, thank you so much for another banger. Really, really appreciate you. As always, at the end of the video, I give my call outs and my breakdown of the highlights. All right, let's jump straight into it. Now, the first thing that I'm going to comment to is the one specific player. And I made a comment during the reaction to this player, and that's Big Niger. 7'9". God damn, bro. I didn't meet someone that was 7 foot until I was at least 18, 19, and I was shocked. I was like, damn. The first thing that I'm going to comment to is fundamentals. Bro, I don't care how big you are. You are going to get to a point where people are going to deal with you irrespective of how tall you are. You might be 7'9" playing with kids at the moment, but if you get caught into the fundamentals of standing at the top of the charity stripe and catching the ball with one hand and going straight into a shooting action, you're going to rely and keep to that movement as an organic movement. Catching the ball and controlling it with one hand is not the bad part, but that is not how you shoot a basketball. You don't shoot the basketball just with this. Now, the reason why is because if I have one hand here, although my man's hand is hella big, okay? Well, I've got one hand here and you hit my elbow. Just watch this, one finger. See that? I'm resisting. The ball's gonna move. Now, when you got two hands, you can bump this. This isn't as much of an issue. In fact, I can apply counter pressure with my controlling or my guiding hand to be able to keep the ball square. Doing this isn't gonna help you in the long run, bro. And I'm gonna stress that. You have to be fundamentally sound. You should be able to finish left-handed. You should be able to finish right-handed. You should be able to cross over and move with both sides of your body, okay? You have to be able to move like that. Some perfect examples of some players that we can see that didn't have fantastic athletic abilities, but were able to be absolute gods on the court. There's two people that come to mind. Pistol Pete Maravich and Larry Bird. When you look at how athletically skilled they were, not really. In fact, Larry Bird openly said that he wasn't that fast. He couldn't jump that high. I mean, how tall was he? Like 6'8", 6'9", so he was tall. But he was fundamentally sound. He did everything flawlessly in a fundamental manner. And that allowed him to have success throughout his career and be able to play in this revolutionary way. Now, you might not be able to revolutionize the game of basketball, but I promise you, it's gonna be a real hard road for you to rectify stupid things that you get caught up into the behavior on when you're young, going into your later career and playing a little bit further along. Now, you might think this is, come on, Chris, super hypercritical, bro. Like, relax, my man's still a teenager or whatever, he's 7'9", la 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 la. I get it. But my point being is that it's going to hurt you in the long run. Now, one thing that I did want to comment to, specifically to the height disparity that's associated to some of these players, is although that they're this tall, they aren't unbeatable. It is possible to stop these players from being effective in the game, but it really comes down to effective coaching tactics and effective play recognition. Now, the first thing that I do want to recognize is, irrespective of how high up above the rest of the other players that they are, if you can deny that person getting the ball, you can effectively minimize that person's impact. So if we take Zhang Zhu, for example, who's 7'4", if she's standing up with her hand held high trying to catch the ball and the defender is at her waist, there's really no way that they're going to be able to get their hand in way of the ball. However, if the defender in front of the player who is passing the ball is able to stop and minimize high quality passes and deflect passes from being made, you essentially minimize the capability of Zhang being able to get the ball. She's then going to either A, have to get the ball inbounded to her and put it on the ground, and I promise you, if you're that tall, as soon as you put it on the ground, I'm so much closer to the ball, I'll pick that shit off. Or the other factor is you're going to have to make them change the look of their play. Now, if that team is not working in a very cohesive manner and they're just very much used to the fact of them dominating in the position that they're playing because of the fact of the height disparity, well, it's a really easy way to run the game off of its course. The same thing goes with a lot of these other players. If you look at their positioning and you look at where they are, the ball is having to come from the 45 into the block or into the post. They're so much taller than everyone. They're essentially grabbing the ball, and if they keep the ball up high, you can't really do anything. But if you can minimize them getting the ball, it absolutely does help. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is defending these types of players. As someone who is 6'1", I am not that tall. I, on occasion, will have to defend someone who's 6'7", 6'8", much bigger than me. And the way that I'm able to have success is by early positional denying. What do I mean by that? I know that you want to get really nice and close to the basket, but I want to push you out of the way. Now, how can I do that? Well, really simply, what I like to do is when they get into a position where the ball is transitioning down and they're trying to get into their ideal spot that they want to be, I'm going to walk them out. I'm not trying to push them, I'm not shoving them, I'm just going to bump them out. And that's going to get them into a spot where they don't want to be. Either A, in the short corner, B, much more out, closer towards the elbow positioning, and I'm going to force them to either A, have to try and play out of that position, and I have a little bit more of a chance to pick the ball off, or B, I can create a position where my teammates are able to dig at the ball and try and essentially help me defend them accurately. Now, I've found that absolutely does help, but it also does help in having fundamental defensive positioning. Now, some really key things that I like to look at is how is my body positioned to them to try and A, help me brace for the movement that they're going to have, B, try and force them towards a position where it's more defensively advantageous for me. The last thing that I love to do, and I'm going to share this little tip for all you people out there that are trying to work on your defensive game when it comes to the post. I'm a big fan of the Hakeem poke. What is the Hakeem poke? You get into a position where you're defensively behind them, good fundamental low defensive position. I'm trying to sit underneath them, okay? As soon as the ball is transitioning into their hands, I want to force them to try and catch the ball out here, because as soon as the ball comes here, you'll actually see underneath their armpit region, if you're sitting at the right angle, you can get a straight line to where the ball is. Okay, so when the ball comes in, if they start to bring the ball closer towards them, I push my hand underneath their armpit. I'm not touching them. I push my hand underneath their armpit, and as they essentially bring the ball back, push through and get my hand to the ball to push the ball back out of their control, or B, I'll just leave my hand there and they essentially will bring it and I tap the ball away. Now, this absolutely does help, especially in an undersized position, because it forces them to think about where they're putting the ball and how they're catching the ball, and I make them much more nervous. Remember, the ball is never safe. That's how I want you to feel. The ball is never safe. When you get in the ball, you're nervous, you're cautious about how you're controlling the ball. But on that note, I want to give a shout out, first and foremost, to Courtside Films. Yet another banger of a video, super duper entertaining. I highly recommend jumping over there, giving a watch to some of their other videos. I've watched a bunch of their videos on my channel and I'll continue to watch more until they tell me to stop doing so. But I really do enjoy the content that they put out. I also hope that you're enjoying the content that your boy is putting out. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, and click on the notification bell to make sure that you're in tune with when your boy puts out some videos for you so you don't miss out anything. And on that note, I'm going to wrap up today's video. Thank you so much for kicking it with your boy. I hope you're looking after yourself. You take care and be safe. All right. Peace.